Let us now do a deep dive into the workspace settings and why they are really important. Let's talk about something most people skip and pay for later. You sign up a client, you set up their sub account in GoHighLevel, you start building workflows, launching emails, connecting calendars. But then emails go to spam, and the calendar shows the wrong time zone. The website says secure connection not found, and your client starts doubting your professionalism. Why? Because you missed the basics, the boring stuff, the settings. Let me tell you, ignoring workspace setup is like building a mansion, but on a quicksand. It might look good at first, but it doesn't stand for long. The moment you get this right, you create stability, you create security. Your emails land in inboxes, your automations run on time, your domain, and your and this is all about the deep dive into the workspace settings tab. We are talking domains, time zones, email configurations, and little toggles that make a huge difference in delivery speed and client satisfaction. Let's get into the guts of it. We'll head into a sub account and go to settings. You'll see a list of options on the left sidebar, and we'll focus on the ones that affect real world functionality. Starting with step 1. I'll jump onto the sub account. So this is the sub account. We go to settings. Inside settings, if you see, there is an option called business info or the business profile. Make sure that you are filling in the business name, the website, the legal business name, the phone number, email address, branded domain name. This is really important. The time zone, the address. Make sure that it's filled in and it's filled in correctly. Do not leave it on anything on default. Your client's appointments will be off, and always confirm the time zone with your clients. Next is the custom domain setup. You need to make sure that you connect your client's website domain to the GHL landing pages. How do you do that? You again go to settings, click on somewhere here, that's domains. You click on connect a domain. Where do you want to connect the domain? The funnel, website, store, for the email, for WordPress, for the client portal, or for the branded domain. So you click on connect, you input your domain. So let's say www.yourclientdomain.com, and you click on continue. GHL will give you the DNS records to add to your domain registrar like GoDaddy, Namecheap, or Cloudflare. You will typically need to add a CNAME record pointing to, so you can either click on continue or you can click on add records manually. This is the A record, this is the CNAME, the host, the request. So you'll have to go to your domain settings and update all of these. Now, once the records are added, you need to verify the records and save and activate. That's all what you need to do to connect your domain. Then comes the email configuration for better deliverability. Well, this is one of the most ignored, but also the most important step. You go to settings once again, look for email services. Now you click, this is connected by default, the default provider. You can, if you want to change the service or add a new service, you can select SendGrid or others, add their details. So this makes sure that you have an email provider who would be used to send the emails. Once done, you need to make sure that your sending domain, like mail.yourclientdomain.com or something like that, is correctly set up. So once you set up the provider, let's cancel this one. You make sure that you have a dedicated domain and IP for the email provider. And your mails do not go from your default yourclientdomain.com, but from mail.yourclientdomain.com. So you can click on connect this. So we have emails.sawankumar.com. You can add a new domain. Once again, very similar to how we did it the last time. Once you add a domain name, you will be records that you will be having to update in the DNS settings. So that's how you update your email settings. Next is set default email and SMSs from names still under email services. So again, the same thing. Let's go back. Click on email services again. The reply and forward settings. So the forwarding address, the BCC emails, if any, the reply to address. So you make sure that you set all of these things up. You go to settings again in the phone numbers. You select the default phone number that would be used for sending SMSs. Why is it not responding? This is the number that's going to be used. You click on advanced settings, let's say, the SMS provider. And you can update all the information that's here to make sure that everything works perfectly fine. Next is profile settings. You go back to settings again, click on settings. You click on business profile. You upload the user image, especially if the client is using automation that includes user profile. You set the preferred calendar, configure time zone individually for each team member if needed. So what am I talking about is you go to my staff. Now let's say this is one of the staff. I click on actions and I make sure that the calendar is right. The user info, the profile image is uploaded. I make sure that everything is once again filled in. Now, once you have done all of this, the step comes where you test it all. Let me move to the next slide. You send a test email to yourself and see if it shows the right sender name and email. You book a test calendar slot and see if the confirmation matches the time zone. You open the funnel page on the new domain and see if the SSL is loading correctly. And you check the email logs and the conversations to verify successful sends. Next, you save these as SOP. Create a checklist in Google Docs or Notion. So every client onboarding includes business info, time zone, domain, email setup, SMS, profile configuration, and everything. This makes scaling smoother. Now, your automations are only as strong as the settings behind them. The flashiest funnel means nothing if the email goes to spam or the appointment shows up at 3 a.m. or the domain link says not secure. But when you master the workspace setup, you create a foundation clients trust. And here is your task right now. Open a test sub account or use your own. Go through all the 7 steps we just covered. Test your domain, email, and calendar to make sure everything is working. Create a reusable onboarding checklist you can use for every new client. And now we have got a professional, stable, branded GHL account ready for the launch. Are you ready to launch your sub account now? If you have any questions, feel free to ask me in the Q&A section or in the community that you must have already been a part of. So I'll see you there.